All right, guys, the market's tried to break out again and rolled just a bit on us. I'm not overly worried looking at the charts here. We still do continue to make higher lows and higher highs. As long as these hold, we will continue to favor bullish side price action. I'll go ahead and mark our most recent higher low here on the chart. Another level we now do want to see hold, okay? But we have made yet another higher high as well. The RSP rolling over yesterday was, a little nastier of a look for me, but same thing, as long as we can hold this higher low and prior all-time high area. Let's adjust the chart here. I don't know why it's been doing that to me so much here. I need to look into that. The charts are always needing to be reset. If anybody can tell me why that's happening in the comments below, I would really appreciate it. Anyways, as long as we can hold this higher low here on RSP, we're all good, guys. We're all good. The markets do pull back. Now, I would like to see a little more follow through, and I've been worried about tech. Looking here at the Qs, it's trying to break out, but did pull itself right back into, I guess we'll call this a wedge that it's been in here. But, frankly, it's just indecisive, right? We are in this wedge that it was trying to break out of and, still could do so. We're getting quite tight here. It looks like a moment of decision is near, and any price action building above is definitely going to be a good look. We want tech involved in a move higher in the market if we're going to have follow through and legs to that move. Real quick here, I want to start watching this a little bit more is the equally weighted here, and tech has a great look to it, right? We're right at all-time highs in the equally weighted. Much better look than the QQQ or NASDAQ. I'm not that worried about what I see in these markets, and frankly, I positioned a few days ago for the current move that we're in. I'm not sure that I'll take anything. I do have, it looks to be about 8 names we're going to cover today. I'm open to a position dependent on what we see. We've got some economic calendar events today at 8:30 and then tomorrow some as well. And I also believe there's something to do with the Supreme Court ruling on the Trump tariffs. That could certainly shake things up. I've got to confirm that is happening. But if we do have that as well, I'm not sure that I'm going to position ahead of something like that. I expect it to be a catalyst that does shake the markets up. And I have no idea which way the markets are going to react to news like that. If if the United States is forced to pay back the collected tariffs, I don't know how that's going to affect the market, right? I would argue most of you don't as well. That leads me into the oil trade that I brought up the other day. Let's look at XOM here. I warned you guys. And look, I don't say things like that because I give a shit about I told you so. I certainly don't mean that. What I'm trying to teach here is market structure and probabilities, things that I've seen over a decade in these markets to happen more often than not, and how I've built systems and models that protect me from stuff like this. And I told you guys that if this thing breaks out of its box, let's make sure that we're properly adjusted. We are here. So this is let's go to the weekly here. We've got this sideways consolidation of at least 6 months is how I define a box breakout is one of my models, okay? So I'm basically going to show it to you here, and I have a few different times recently, but what I like to wait for is it to break out of the box, pull back, retest it without breaking structure, and that next push higher. What that has done, I used to be someone that traded breakouts, flat tops, flags, consolidation breakouts, whatever it may be, right? And I found my hit rate to not be that high. I was getting stopped out a lot just to see the move happen, right? Days or weeks later. The move that you saw coming out of consolidation or out of a flag or breakout zone, you see it end up happening, but a lot of times I just began to notice over and over and over again, it shook everyone and then went. It was why I created the box breakout pattern, because I found that I did better waiting for it to break out, pull back, test, hold, confirm, and then it gets my entry, it gets my money, and I have additional structure there to trade off of. That's what I was saying here on XOM. And for the box breakout, I do like to get a quarter size prior to the breakout level. So for XOM, this is what that looked like, right? You get the triple R, that hold structure right here. Triple R entry right here is typically where I would have liked to. I took this off a watch and I missed it, right? I didn't get it. Things I said last week. But this was a beautiful quarter size entry when you're anticipating a box breakout. When you get back up to the upper end of the range, things are building. Maybe there's a narrative coming, which there was here. It feels like this thing could go this time. I'm okay with taking a quarter sizer with a clean stop to risk off of, and then you're in the move. So you don't feel like you're missing the breakout and it's running away, but you're getting a better entry down here as opposed to buying the breakout level, okay? And then it breaks out, but I like to let it pull back and hold structure. So that is what's happening, right? It's pulling back. Is it going to hold this swing low? If it does, the next time through the 9, I find to be higher probability, okay? And I've got eyes on this. So that is something that I talked about before it happened, and then here you see it playing out. And I transitioned into this because it's sort of similar to if we get that tariff, if the US has to walk back those tariffs, like people are already experts on tariffs again. Like they know what's going to happen. It's just like I was seeing on silver, just like I'm seeing now on gas. Everybody was like, this is going to happen, X, Y, Z. And I said, it's okay to wait and see. We don't have to predict. We can wait and see and trade the first setup we have after confirmation. And I'm seeing this again already with the tariff stuff where people are saying the market's going to go up, it's going to crash. It's like, how about we just wait and see? Okay, let it do one of those things and then confirm and then expose your money. I encourage you to start doing that, to start waiting for confirmation. There's something about the markets that makes people feel like they've got to get involved. They've got to press buttons. Well, look at the market, guys. This is not clean. I mean, we are beginning to trend. We're making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Okay, but I wouldn't say we're like really getting follow through because, we peak up and roll back down, peak up, roll back down. We're not getting any follow through, right? Like multi-days up or down. I mean, in the same scenario, it's still a shaky, slippery market. So if you're overexposing, like we're still in market risk profile B. If you're overdoing it, why is that? And I think it's just because people feel like they have to get involved or they're going to miss moves. I promise you that's not the case. It's better to wait for confirmation and lean into it once you've gotten it. And like, we're just not in a market that's doing that right now. So I would just encourage you guys. I know that it can be difficult to wait. I'm still just taking very selective positions. And though I'll show you, 8, 9, 10 ideas here today, I'm not pressed to take them, okay? I took my UUU position the other day, right? I have some other leaps exposure. I'm up 17% on the year already. I'm not gonna force it, okay? I'm not gonna keep adding exposure when I feel the markets to be a little bit indecisive right now, okay? So, I mean, the market looks okay. It just does. Everything is holding. Everything is looking fine. We keep pushing up, but it's up, down, up, down, up, down. This feels indecisive. I don't have any major warning signs. We have those eco events. Let's see how the week closes out is how I'm feeling. Come to my Saturday session, guys. I think we're going to have more clarity after today and Friday when we have all of the economic data to digest and look at all the jobs reports, everything that comes out. The week closes. Let's see do we close strong on Friday? That's going to be a major tell for me. As maybe how the rest of this month is going to play out. It's our first set of data. Let's let the week close, okay? Instead of trying to overposition before it. So we'll go through some names here. I want to talk about ALAB, another example. This is something, guys, that I talked about for a couple of weeks going up into this, and a bunch of people were asking me about ALAB. And I was just like, guys, I don't like this. It's trying to change character. Look at how shaky it's being. I said that in at least 5 different videos. Look at how shaky it's being, trying to break out of the zone. And what does it do? It peaks above and then rolls on everyone. And it's just, I'm not surprised. I literally said it's why I'm not going to take ALAB until it breaks out and gives me a triple R above. It confirms. My friends, I'm telling you, that is a higher probability trade than trying to buy this breakout along with Jim Bob and his sister. Okay, if there is manipulation, if there's a dark side to the market, if there's places where they bait and trap people, it's breakout levels, my friends, okay? Because they know you have a clear entry and they know what your stop is. And look at that, they break it out, roll it, but what does this become? I'm actually now a little interested in ALAB because we are post-manipulation, if that's what we want to call it, but we're post-liquidation at the very least. All right, we got a fake out. This is my shake and go pattern. So you get a breakout, fake out, shake out that holds structure. Did not break structure and is pushing back up over the 9. So it's a shake and go with triple R trigger. This actually interests me a lot more than its first try up through this level. If we're really going to go now, we've already had that liquidity event or whatever you might want to call it. There's many ways of describing it. I call it a shake and go, okay? We've got XOM, as I just said. This is on watch. We got our box breakout. Now, shake and go, looking for triple R. That's 3 models right here. We have the box breakout, did not break structure, has not yet, right? If we react off of this level, remount the 9, reinitiate that box breakout level, triple R trigger, shake and go, breakout, fake out, shake out, held structure. Guys, 3 models right here. Now the manipulation, if you will, has happened. The move could actually go at this point. And I know that that's a dark way to look at the market. Again, I've seen it happen so many times. I was the person buying this big boy candle right here for years and then getting rolled on and getting stopped out. Like, it happened to me too many times that now I wait for that to happen. So real quick, sector I want to talk about is I'm pretty bullish long-term on cybersecurity, right? I think it's quite important, especially as we get into maybe quantum computing. It's a very important sector, period, right? God, I've been hacked a couple times in the last year. Like, cybersecurity just needs to be better. Anyways, I just want to say here that the cybersecurity stocks on the weekly chart, okay? Triple R's on 3 of them that I'll show you here. You got a retracement reaction at around our level. What's our level? Prior breakout level. Remount of the 9. Weekly trigger for me here on cyber. We've got net. This is a shake and go, breakout, fake out, shake out. I would have loved to have seen it hold right there, but I mean, that's so close. Like, I would say we didn't break structure. We pulled back down to the prior all-time high level around the 50, right? Reacted off of it. We're currently holding and starting to remount our short-term moving average. I think cyber looks a little bit more attractive, and most attractive would be CrowdStrike for me here. Beautiful, beautiful price action right here. So you get a retracement reaction at around our level. Remount of the 9 here is a weekly trigger for me on Crowd. I think that might be my favorite one out of the cybersecurities currently. This has a beautiful look to me. It looks like a trend continuation trigger back through the 9. Okay. And we've got IREN, one that sort of like ALAB, I was staying away from just because of how shaky it was being. It's starting to look a little bit better to me rolling over to the daily chart. You got our retracement, near the 200, near that prior breakout zone back here. Okay, holding structure, looking to remount the 50 on the daily. It is trigger for me here on a triple R for IREN. I would just control your size on this, right? Like, don't feel the need to be a hero. You can take a smaller position in this and, what are you looking for? Let's call it probably at least a 20% move in underlying. Something like this is the trade. We can tighten that up a little bit. There's no reason. Something like that is a trade. What's that looking like? A 30% move in underlying, right? So you don't have to force options in a trade like this. But it's got a good look to me now, guys. I think I might like it back through the 50. CLS is another one. This one's been a little bit shaky as well, but it never did clear that structure here. And we've also never remounted the 50. So we haven't had a trigger, but it keeps trying to pop up and roll over. But it is holding structure, right? Making higher lows here and really just bouncing its head on this 50 level if it can get through it. I think I like CLS over the 50, guys. I've been sort of talking about it. It's been on the grid for a few days recently. I've got my eye on that 50 remount for CLS. OUST is another one on the weekly chart that is trying to go, guys. You had a major change in character, trend initiated that pulled back into structure, reacting off of it on the weekly and remounting the 9 for me here is the trigger, which, you could wait for it to clear this range, which is why I keep drawing lines right there. It's okay to do so if you'd like. Might be the safer trade, and you need to make sure that SMH, the semiconductors ETF, is continuing to make new highs along with us. We want the momentum of the semiconductor space behind us. I'm seeing some more news come out of China about the H200 chips for NVIDIA not being allowed to purchase them, so might be a little headwind there in the sector. Do make sure SMH is cooperating for this position. And RIVN is another one who has done a bit of a rounding base change in character, looking to get some follow through. We got our retracement right back into the prior breakout zone. We're reacting off of it, remounting on the 9. I would probably wait to clear yesterday's highs to initiate a position. Stop goes right at that swing low, and you're looking for a 2R off of that trade. Plenty of time before earnings. It's got a good look to me there, RIVN. And then app is another one that I haven't traded this in a while, but it is holding structure on this retracement reaction at around our level. In this case, the level is the 50. Remount of the 9 is triple R trigger for me there on app. Wouldn't say it's my favorite compared to some of these other things that we've looked at. And then USAR is one that I just wanted to bring up. Look for this range to clear. Guys, there's clearly something structural happening in rare earths and minerals and that entire space, right? There's something geopolitical, like there's something going on. Nations are battling for resources, period. Okay, so it's a space I think we need to continue to monitor, but I don't think you need to over speculate, right? Like this thing is 3.5 days up, okay, straight into resistance. Even if it continues to rip through this level, it's like that's when people feel like they're missing something. But the way I look at it is just let it triple R above. Okay, let it confirm the move, not peek its head above and be like, I got to buy this breakout or I'm going to miss a whole trade. And then you get rolled. And, like that's just something I've seen happen too many times. So for me, I let it get through the zone. Triple R above is what I'll be looking for here on USAR. And again, the resources space in its entirety. You've even got like clean energy, like solar's doing well, fuel cells, uranium, nuclear, minerals, metals, all, like it just seems like lithium, the whole space is certainly getting some inflow. And I wonder if that's going to be a continued theme this year. I would say it certainly was last year as well. I mean, obviously, look at this. So I do want to keep my eye on this here, but I don't need to over speculate. These things are making big, crazy moves. Let's wait for confirmation. And guys, that's really all I wanted to say here today was that for me, I'm probably not going to initiate any new risk today or tomorrow, just due to the fact that, are we not getting that Supreme Court ruling on Friday? And then we do have quite a bit of economic data coming out today and tomorrow. I think let's let the week close. Let's look at the weekly candle. Let's look under the hood over the weekend. We'll do that live together. I've got the session. Come on in. It's not a pitch. It's not a webinar. I don't mention anything that's not asked of me besides my market analysis. I do a full breadth session. We're going to look at all of the indices, all of the sectors, find the strength, find the weakness if there is any concern. Last week I was sort of like 60-40 bullish to bearish, and then I walked it back. Pretty sure I did that on the YouTube channel. It might have been in chat, but I was like, hey, maybe I'm more so 70-30, and I did initiate that position. So listen, as long as we're making higher highs and higher lows, I've got to lean more bullish. That is how trend and market structure works. But there are some things that do have me a little bit worried about this market. Maybe the lack of follow through is what's growing on me as well. Every time we try to pop up into highs, we immediately fail, right? We're not getting follow through. We're not getting legs on the move. So slightly concerning there. So we just must remain risk profile B. I'm not going to press it, guys. I will wait until the market earns my money, earns my risk. Okay. We're just not there yet that I need to lean into heavily. So guys, join me on Saturday. I think it'll probably be a pretty important session because I think, as I said, getting through the events end of week, we should have some sort of signal that we can identify there under the hood. So do consider joining me. Just email me warrensnacks@gmail.com. I will send you the live Zoom link